Lin-
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami, powered by 786 Sports. My name is Julio, and I'm joined today by some friends and fellow Inter Miami fans, Dave, Chris, and Jose. And on behalf of the guys, we want to thank you for stopping by and joining us here on the Heron Heads podcast. Before we begin, a huge shout out to our chief Heron Heads, Chow and Mighty V. Thank you so much for the continued generous support. If you'd like to support us on Patreon, you will find a link in the description wherever you are listening. You will also find a link to our Discord server and our merch store, so be sure to check those out if you guys are interested. For those of you watching live on YouTube, thank you guys so much for hanging out, and please hit the like and subscribe buttons if you are enjoying the show. In today's show, we will be previewing Inter Miami's match against Vancouver Whitecaps in the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinals. So before we begin, how's everyone doing tonight?
We're doing good. Another short week for us. Luckily, we had about 5 days in between the last match and this one coming up, but a big one. You know, this is the biggest match to date. I feel like we've been saying that a lot lately. It's the biggest match today. It's the biggest match today. But hey, this is what happens when you start going into such a big tournament like this, and you keep going deeper and deeper. So it's just going to continuously be the biggest match of the season until we hopefully eventually lift that cup at the end. But besides that, you know, it's been nice. We got a nice win this weekend. We're coming up big matchup, and then the weekend is not a huge matchup, so maybe we see some rest and see some rotation coming up.
Yeah, we're excited right now. We just finished up playing up to date for the MLS season, the biggest game of the year. Now we're playing another biggest game of the year. So just gonna keep saying it, Chris. You know,
I guess so.
But I'm just excited to see another chance to continue on in this journey to get to the CONCACAF Champions Cup. I would really like to see us raise another cup, like Chris was saying, and it's just, yeah, I mean, these are big moments, and you really expect to see our stars really show up, but you're really encouraged to see some of the young guys to show up as well and see what Mascherano has in store for us, because I've noticed that he's been tinkering a bit more, and I think a lot of it has to do with being so far into these competitions. So yeah, it is interesting.
So one of the people that we were interested in seeing is Baltasar Rodriguez, but apparently he was injured in training, so I don't think we will be seeing him. I assume the team's going to be flying out tomorrow afternoon to Vancouver. It is a long way to Vancouver. It is the
longest.
I don't know how long the flight is, but I know it's over 3,400 miles, so it is a long ways away. But yes, Baltasar got injured during training. I personally don't know the extent of the injury, but I don't know if you guys have any additional information on that. But he was reportedly injured in training, which is a bummer because we were kind of excited to see him. The midfield feels like it can use an injection of energy and something a little bit different, which we were hoping he would bring, but it seems like that will have to wait just a little bit longer.
Yeah, prying any information from this club on injuries is good luck with that. So if they've pretty much said he's injured this early on, you know it's gonna be some time. So unfortunately, we're really looking forward to seeing the dynamics and how they would change with him involved in the attack. But that's fine. Like we said, we have plenty of depth in this team, so we can still survive that spot. It's not like Messi goes down, even though there is some worry there with him walking off the pitch in Cleveland. If he were to go down, that really does change the math for this club, especially with some of the issues we've been having in the attack. So we should be okay without Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah, it just sucks to see just because we've been waiting for him so long, all of the visa issues that apparently were happening, and it took him so long to get him over here onto the team, and then all of a sudden something happens in training and he's injured. You know, you can't help but to guess, like, was he not doing anything for so long, standing around waiting, did that affect it at all? And you just start questioning some things, and it's just a shame. We saw it with Obando, it took forever for the visa. We saw it now with Baltasar, it took forever. So I don't know anything about that. I don't know why it would take so long, but it's just a shame, But hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he's okay. With an injury now, I doubt we'll see him Thursday. Maybe still a chance to see him this weekend, which would be really a prime match to see these kind of rotational pieces in. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll see him soon.
And to answer this question, if Messi trained today, Messi did in fact train today with the full team, and Oscar Ustari also trained with the team. He had an apparent hand injury. It seemed like it was like a leg cramp when it was in game, but apparently it was a hand injury. But he trained also.
They were on fire. His mitts were on fire from stopping so many balls.
But he also trained today with the full team, so that is very good news.
Whoops! Didn't mean to do that.
For Inter Miami, as Ustari and Messi both practice with the team in full. Chris, what was that? Why don't you bring that back up?
I was gonna leave it for the end of the show, but
let's talk about it now, because now you've already teased it now, so may as well.
Jesus. So the new little trend on social media right now is to put on ChatGPT to put this Mount Rushmore of whatever topic you want to talk about. So we created a little Mount Rushmore of Inter Miami. So we got 4 guys up here that we all thought should probably be here, but we want to leave it up to you guys to kind of talk about it as well. Let us know if we're completely wrong, if we're right, if we're missing somebody. So we have Leo Messi. We have
wait. I want to see if people will guess who's on the right. Like, that's my main thing.
Generic NPC player.
Yeah, figure it out. I want to see if the chat can figure out who is, by the end of the show, if they can name who that man on the right is.
All right,
is it Lewis Morgan?
Jesus, Jose. David literally just said not to say anything.
I mean, you could have just said no.
Yeah, so we got Messi, we got Higuain, we got Luis Suarez, and we got the other Lewis Morgan. So, chat it up.
Not Drake Callender. What's up with that? Guy's been with us for how long? Most appearances.
No Campana. No Robert Taylor.
No Joseph Martinez.
No Yedlin.
No Christoph.
No Jordi
What
Alba.
is this?
No Matuidi.
No
Rodolfo Pizarro.
Yeah, I thought about it for a second, but then I just thought he was terrible. But, I did think about him for a second, actually.
No Robbie Robinson, the first Inter Miami player to retire as like a full-time Inter Miami player.
Yes, he just retired.
I know. We talked about it last episode.
Also just said it.
Follow the Heron Heads for more content.
No Diego Gomez.
Yeah. There's some good ones out there, Some good ones. It all depends.
Can Diego Gomez be on the Mount Rushmore after only having been here for like 8 months, 10 months?
No.
That's what I was gonna say. Do you prefer stats? Do you look at stats when you look at this? Do you look at the
record
creation
sale
of the club?
Record sale for Inter Miami player.
Yeah, so there's a lot of discussion here. So
Messi 42 goals in 50 appearances. Like Danilo Betancourt said in the comments in Portuguese, I'm pretty sure. I did a very interesting, like, spotty trying to decipher what it was, and I'm pretty sure it says something like Messi is the best in all the history and better than Pelé and Maradona.
Why don't you read what the message says, Jose?
Pretty sure that's what it says.
Why don't you read it?
I'm not even. Lionel Messi é o maior da história, na minha opinião. É maior que Pelé, é maior que Maradona, o maior jugador de todos os tempos, Lionel Messi.
Bravo.
That was pretty good.
Bravo.
Are you part Brazilian?
So no.
Sometimes. Yeah, for those of you listening on audio, we have the picture up. If you want to check it out on YouTube, we'll probably post it on socials too.
Yeah, so let's go through it, Chris. So it's a Mount Rushmore. It has from left to right Lionel Messi, Gonzalo Higuain, Luis Suarez, and Lewis Morgan. I'm curious to see what everyone's thoughts are, because I think there's possibly 2 players that can be replaced on this Mount Rushmore. I don't know with who you would replace them, but I think there's 2 question marks for me.
Which ones are the question marks?
Suarez and Morgan. Although I will say personally, Morgan, one of my favorite like early days Inter Miami players. Mostly the combination of Morgan and Ray Hudson on the call. The
Magisterial.
combination of those two really like lifts and elevates Lewis Morgan's status because those early days were iconic.
And I love how we went from hating his calls to just absolutely loving them.
I long for them now.
It was so over the top, and we're like watching a very, very raw Inter Miami play, and we're like, man, he is so over enthused and just over the top with these
For
calls.
nothing. for this
Yeah,
garbage.
for a side out, like
For this slop that's on the pitch.
Oh my god! But yeah, now imagine him with Messi and co. Like, whew.
Well, he called, I believe, Barca games back in the day.
Yeah, but not for us.
Well, I know. I'm just giving some
Different.
historical
It
context
hits
here.
different when he's rooting on the pink.
Indeed. So let's talk about the pink. Let's talk about Inter Miami versus Vancouver taking place on Thursday. So keys to the game. Obviously, one of the big talking points has been Inter Miami's struggling offense of late. And we're coming up against a team that has not had, they've had zero trouble finding the back of the net. So what are your keys to the match? Who are your players to watch for Inter Miami?
Well, they just came out of a 0-0 draw. So some issues finding the back of the net.
You know what team is undefeated and which team is not? Inter Miami, baby.
That's incredible. Incredible analysis, Chris.
I know. What else matters at that point, right?
And look at what they did recently also, though. We did talk about the 0-0, but also the 5-1. That was the game before that against Austin, which happens to be the 7th best team in the MLS. So
they blew their load.
What do you mean by that?
So
at the end of the day, Vancouver, obviously, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Vancouver
bring up the Mount Rushmore.
Bring it out. There it is. Let's go.
Oh man.
No, man. Vancouver, they're the best team in the MLS. They have done things in CONCACAF right now that other MLS teams have not been able to do. And that's beat Mexican teams, beat Liga MX teams. They beat was it Pumas this last time?
Pumas.
And Monterrey a couple rounds ago. So they're still the team to beat.
But if we're being honest, it was 3-3. They beat them by technicality.
So still beat them. And Monterrey, they still beat them too.
That was a good one.
Yeah, that was a very good one. So they're no slouch, and they're the top of the MLS right now too. And whether you want to say the West sucks or the East is better or whatever, they're still the top of the MLS. So
I just looked also. Vancouver Monterrey also 3-3. Could be something.
So you're saying we need to score 4 goals?
What I'm saying is that maybe they're a little overrated.
That's interesting. Now that's a hot take.
So for Inter Miami, what are your keys to the match?
We need to find their offense, man. That's the thing. We need to find their offense. The issue for us has been that we haven't been able to score straight up, which is very difficult to win games in any sport. Very difficult if you don't score points, if you don't get some goals. It ain't gonna happen. We're not gonna win. The good thing is that we've been saved by our defense. Great. But we need to figure out how to get the ball in the back of the net. We have been struggling with it, and it's pretty freaking annoying.
Yeah, I think definitely the key to the match is, like Julio said, 4 goals. Let's get an away goal. Let's focus on that, because last round was so hard.
Let's go crazy.
It was so tough for us. Like, we came out on top, but we made it so much more difficult on ourselves by being blanked that first time over there. We have to come away with at least a goal. Even if we don't win outright, like, let's get a damn away goal so that we're not behind the 8 ball when we come back here. That's my biggest takeaway, is get that offense going quick. And I don't need an explosion. Let's just find the back of the net.
This may be the most difficult attacking team that we played so far. They're, I think, second in the league in the MLS in goals. They're first in the MLS in assists. And I don't think we've seen an attacking power like this so far. So I think really the key to the match right now, I do agree, we need an away goal. No matter what, we need at least one away goal just to ease off the pressure a little bit. But I think we just need to hold them back. I think our defense has to step up. They've had a very good season so far for our defense. Ustari has played lights out so far, a bunch of shutouts, a bunch of clean sheets. So I think we got to continue that momentum, but also take the next step. I think we got to see our main back line.
Yeah.
We have to see Fray at right back. We have to see Fagong and Allen, and we have to see Alba, and obviously Ustari at goal. I think that key right there, along with what we've said multiple times, Bright at the CDM. If we have all of that starting on Thursday against Whitecaps, I think we'll be able to not shut them down, because I think it's going to be very hard to shut down this team, but I think we'll be able to really just hold them back a little bit and keep them sort of low scoring. But again, we do have to score that one or two goals.
You mentioned Bright at CDM. That's another little piece of a little nugget of information that we failed to mention is I heard that Redondo also had a knock. So if that's true, we should for sure see Bright in the starting lineup, and I think we all welcome that. You said that's a key to having a healthy defense, and I totally agree. And as well as Fray, I've heard that Fray might have a knock, and that's why we haven't been seeing him. So if that continues, that stinks. But I would still love to see him get some run in this round of play. But if we don't see Redondo, that might not be the worst thing. It does stink that we don't have Baltasar Rodriguez to kind of rotate in there in the midfield. But who knows? Maybe if we score a couple goals, we might see some Toto in the midfield.
I don't know if we want to see that.
I need Suarez to get out of whatever funk he's in. I need to see a Suarez goal. Of all the goals that I need to see, I need a Suarez one.
I think Suarez needs to see a Suarez goal. The guy has to see the back of the net, because man, he's on a freaking cold streak if I've ever seen one. He's on a Robert Taylor cold streak. You know what I mean, Jose?
No one knows what you mean. Only Robert Taylor knows what you mean.
That was my what is it? Ungading? That was my fears when I saw Chelo get that goal contribution. I was like, we're never gonna see Ian Fray.
That goal contribution.
We're never gonna see Ian Fray again. Like that was it.
Is Chelo in a groove though?
He got an assist on a one-time cross.
Is that really a groove? Is that considered to be a groove?
When you've seen him do absolutely nothing on offense, and then he does something so beautiful, that's a groove. In my opinion, that's a groove, because when you're comparing it to the history, there's just nothing there.
You wanna go history? When you see Chelo and you compare him side by side with what we used to see with Yedlin, when we're talking about, we literally have already the second time we mentioned him.
So scarred by Yedlin.
The total dance and go, wee, hey, so people just run right by him. Chelo has not been that. He's not been that. He's been consistent on defense, guys.
I think we're gonna need that.
I don't like the slander. He's not bad.
I think we're gonna need Chelo's defense in this match, honestly.
Yeah.
Despite how much I like Fray over Chelo in general, I think Chelo's defensive I'm not going to call it prowess, but his inclination towards playing good defense. Yeah. His acumen in defense is going to be needed, because one of the players that I'm looking at on Vancouver is Ali Ahmed, who I don't know if he starts every match, but the matches that I've seen him play, he's one of those like quick wingers that we've had trouble with in the past. And Loooong most recently, when he played right back, got burned pretty bad time and time again. And that would worry me if I'm Inter Miami, and I would really prefer Chelo back there for this match, specifically just for that purpose. I'm not worried about Alba on the other side, obviously, but Ahmed seems like a dangerous player to me. Obviously, there's the Brian White, which we'll get into more later, but Ahmed from the left-hand side, I think, could be a big concern.
Would you rather have Chelo over Fray? Just talking defensively here, not talking about what's on the attack. All things being equal against this team, Fray or Chelo?
Chelo.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
on the attack, you said?
No, defense.
Chelo.
Man, I don't think the drop off is there.
Yeah, I don't know if
I've seen Fray position himself with his body very well, being able to poke and take the ball away in a way that I haven't seen Chelo. Chelo is more of a bull, and I think running with guys, I think Fray is superior than Chelo as well. So I don't think there's a drop off, and for that reason is why I think if all things being equal, everybody's healthy, I would put Fray in over Chelo and not worry about the defensive side at all.
Chelo's whipping it into the box. He's just I don't know what to tell you. The guy is everything we want him to be. He's doing it right now. He is superior to Fray, man. Fray is fragile. He gets hurt every time. It is what it is. I like him. I like him a lot. But I mean, you can't play like this.
No, you
can't
don't.
run a team
You're one step away from saying Fray is the next Robert Taylor and Yedlin.
No,
I see
no,
it.
I'm
I
not.
see it all over your face.
No, he's good. He just gets hurt a lot. Okay, he's one more injury away from what I'm gonna call him. I don't know.
Who's that?
Tua.
Exactly. Exactly. He's one more injury for me called Tua. It's rough. You guys agree with that? I mean, come on. If he gets hurt again, he's been getting hurt every single year. Every single year he gets a ding, and it takes him a month to get ready. It's ridiculous. He's not there. Exactly. Bring Lewis Morgan back. That guy made me happy.
I would take him in a heartbeat, honestly.
Yeah.
He was fun. Offensively, okay. Offensively, I liked him a lot.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Defensively, I wasn't really crazy.
Would you take him over Luis Suarez right now?
In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. It's not even close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like this question. What do you think about our midfield? Who do you guys prefer, Redondo or Segovia? Both are horrible at the moment. Assuming it's Busi and Bright, who's the third?
Over those two, assuming Busi and Bright, I'll take Segovia all day, just because of
any of our midfielders. It doesn't have to be just Segovia or Redondo. Who would be the third in a midfield trio? Busi, Bright, and
I'll still take Segovia.
Yeah, if it's Segovia on top of them,
Yeah.
I don't know, but Crema played really well in that game, and it was very fun to watch him. I'm very knee-jerk reaction, so being a knee-jerk reaction guy, he played really well last game, and I'm pretty excited. I was like, "Oh, hey, look, Crema's playing well. That's fun."
Chelo and Albenja, they have one good games, and you want to start them over everybody.
Crema, I feel like plays more of like left mid, right mid. He plays more on the side as opposed to if I were to get my choice of where I'm placing somebody, Segovia just centrally over Busi and Bright, I think would be beautiful. That doesn't seem to be what we're gonna get. So for that reason, I would probably prefer Kremaski in his natural left mid spot as opposed to Segovia out on the side, just completely out of position.
So you agree with me?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure.
It was one of those.
If we got it my way,
sure
like,
about.
If they deployed Segovia properly, then no, I wouldn't agree with you. But because they just don't seem to ever put him in that spot, I have to agree with you. Because I've seen more recently, from knee-jerk reaction, I've seen Kremaski be effective in that role as opposed to Segovia, who unfortunately since the very start of the season has been kind of out of place.
I mean, I like Segovia's upside. I think he has so much more upside.
He's more talented. I agree.
Yeah. It's just he hasn't, for some reason, they're not matching him right now. Specifically, we're playing Vancouver.
They're not putting him in the right spot. That's unfortunate. That's what it is.
We're playing the best team in the MLS right now. I would like to play whoever's hot right now.
I agree with you. He's so hot right now.
Julio has agreed with me twice.
That's right. Now. Hell has frozen over.
It's the blue background. It's right. Got us all calm and you know what? Jose has some good points today.
Illuminati.
How about Allende? Are we gonna see him on the left again? We're gonna see him on the right.
I hope so.
Where does Mascherano kind of put him this week?
I thought it was really good on the left until we switched his position.
I agree.
But I would love to see Allende. Honestly, I wouldn't mind seeing Fafa in the starting lineup.
You guys love him, man. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. My Chelo, I don't think likes him. I don't know. Like
Fafa?
I like him.
Camera for him, and he just
I like him coming in. I like him coming in later. Like 65th minute, 70th minute, right there. Boom, give us a boost. That's where I like him.
I think he uses him as like a super sub. He adds massive amount of speed when guys have some tired legs out there, and also he brings set piece variability. So it's something that we don't like. He's one of one really on our club. His skill set is very unique. So having that come in off the bench when guys are tired, I think it does have tremendous value. So I do understand why he does have him coming off the bench most of the time, because if you start him off and then you pull him out, you're not really going to be able to inject what he brings off the bench.
Do you know where Fafa played last year?
In
Did he
Vancouver.
play for
That's right.
Vancouver?
Vancouver.
It
Yep.
was for Vancouver.
Nashville the year before. And
I
then
think
Vancouver.
he should start over Allende.
Wait a minute, but we just played Columbus and we didn't play Gressel.
I mean,
does that mean?
Cressel isn't even on this team for all that we know.
He played for Columbus.
For all that we know.
Where is
He
he?
should start. He should start against Columbus. He played it. He used to play there. Oh, but we're
No, but
playing
I
Cleveland.
agree. Yeah. I agree with everything David just said. And also, when you bring in a guy like, look at us. We're all agreeing with each other. in
We're
one way,
so
isn't it?
agreeable today.
So agreeable. It's the blue background. I'm telling you, rock calm. It's I agree with that too. Not only because of the speed, but because of the very specific talent that he brings, and it's the capability to jump over everybody and have the headers hit the back of the net. At the end of the game, or towards the end of the game, everyone starts getting tired. They start losing their legs a little bit. Fafa comes in with his speed, and then he's jumping over everybody to get a header in there. That's what we need, I believe, towards the end of the match. I'd rather see him later than towards the beginning.
I believe.
Did you know, Jose,
Hmm.
that Vancouver leads the MLS in the number of corners taken?
Scary.
So I believe Fafa should start to help us defend those corners.
It's a pretty scary number.
It's an interesting number.
I didn't say a number, but I just said that they had the most.
We
Scared
haven't been
most.
killed by that though this year.
I'm sorry?
We haven't really been killed by that this year.
We haven't allowed many corners, to be honest.
Why are you guys jinxing us? Jesus Christ.
I know it is, but we have to say it, Dave.
Most of our games, please gamble responsibly. I bet the under on the corners, and it hits more often than not. Hot tip. Hot did you know?
Yeah.
Although don't touch it this match, because we take notoriously very few and Vancouver takes notoriously very high. So who knows?
Something's got to give.
Something's got to give. The irresistible force versus the immovable object.
Something to keep in mind if any Vancouver fans are watching. Currently, to go to the game, it's $33. The cheapest tickets.
American or Canadian?
It's $33.
But they also use dollars. But is it Canadian dollars or American dollars?
It's Ticketmaster. This isn't a Canadian sponsored.
What's the exchange rate on that?
Is it CAD or USD, Jose? Come on.
USD.
Okay.
USD. I believe that USD.
Pretty sad.
That's actually really cheap. That's probably the cheapest. Actually, no. The Jamaican one was probably the cheapest one that we went to.
They have a name for this. Cavalier.
Sorry.
Jamaican team. Oh, God.
Like Jose, the Jamaica team.
We played Jamaica. Jamaica's got a soccer team.
All right, guys. So Vancouver. I think this conversation begins with one player. It's Brian White. He leads the league in scoring, right? Because just by way of his 4-goal game that he had a couple weeks ago.
He's one away. He's at 6. Leader is Baribo from Philadelphia, 7, and Chicharango at 6 as well. But he's right there.
Friend of the show,
which is kind of crazy if you think about it. He scored. He
like
scored
one
4.
win.
He scored 4. When was it? Last match or
I think 2 matches ago.
2 matches ago?
Dave made it very clear that they drew 0-0 last match.
Oh, that's true. So he scored 4 in one match and he has 6.
That sounds like I said. They just went crazy one game. I'm not overly worried about their scoring prowess.
Something to keep in mind. Weather report. 60. It's gonna be a cool 62
Something
degree.
to keep in mind. Weather's gorgeous.
Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Kelvin.
Look, ultimately, I was trying to give them a way out because I was like, maybe it's super cheap because it's gonna be cold, and I was like, it's pretty perfect to me, Bob. Just bad fans.
It's a dreadful spring game.
Yeah. So Hard Rock bets. Next thing I was gonna look at.
Completely derailed Julio's question.
Go ahead. There we go.
I just want to know what you guys think about Brian White.
I already said it earlier. I think the key is going to be the defense. Can Noah Allen keep up with Brian White, or can Falcon keep up with Brian White? Honestly, from what I've seen this season, I think they can. I think they can. They've had a stellar start to the season. Noah Allen has the speed at a center back position that we've never really had. And Falcon just has great positioning. He's not the fastest guy out there, but he's always covering people's butts. He's always right positioning, and he doesn't really get beat that often. You know, I think the few times we've seen him beat was a bad positioning on a header from across. I think that's like the worst one that comes to mind right now. But you don't really see him beat. And Noah Allen could catch up to most attackers. I'm not gonna say every one of them because we haven't played a guy like Paintso or something like that. But he could catch up to most guys that we've seen so far. So I'm really not worried about our defense getting smoked by Brian White.
Yeah, I think as long as we have that Bermuda Triangle that we had mentioned earlier of Ustari, Noah Allen, and Falcon, their communication and positioning seems to be stellar. As long as those three guys are there centrally, everything seems to be okay. Alba or Chelo or Fray on the outsides provides good coverage, but those three in the central position, I think, are very, very solid. So as long as that's the starting group, I'm not too worried about an offensive explosion from Vancouver.
Inter Miami is a plus 190 bet.
And what is
240 to tie?
What is 240 to tie? It's fair. And Vancouver, what were the odds on Vancouver?
Plus 120. I don't think Vegas wants any part of this game.
I mean,
they're just nervous. They're like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's again the same story. Irresistible force, immovable object. Miami's been really good on defense. Vancouver's been pretty good on defense too. I think they've also only allowed 6 goals in MLS play with another game played.
They have a steady center back, Tristan Blackman, someone to keep an eye on as we try and penetrate their goal.
Indeed.
Sneak peek to our predictions. I don't think this is going to be a tie. Take that for whatever you want.
So then, Chris,
why don't we jump into predictions then? Is Dave Stradamus in the building?
Let's try something new today, guys. Right over the hat. How about that?
Oh yeah,
that's a look.
There we go.
Hey, the hair's not in your eyes this time.
I know. It's all this. It's everything's by design here, guys. Come on, no accidents.
This is all scripted.
So I believe that we will come away with a goal. However, I do think midweek fixture, it will be tough flying away across the country. I do think that we're going to be looking at a 1-1 draw in this one. But the key thing here is getting that goal. I think that's coming away with a 1-1 draw. That's like coming away with a victory for us.
Nah, that's not coming with a victory for us. I'm predicting 2-1. I'm thinking Suarez, God forbid, he comes out with 1 goal, but sets us on the right path. It's gonna be one of those that he scores and everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, he scored. Let's all score. But nobody else scores, just maybe Messi one more time. And then it's 2-1. Okadi just lets one pass by accident. Like, oh my God, what are you gonna do? Ustari just lets one go, and probably White. I would say White would score. They don't let you do player props right now. I was gonna say my prediction with the player prop and give the plus, but it doesn't let you.
So I think it's gonna be. I think Ustari's gonna continue his clean sheet extravaganza this season, and we're gonna win 1-0. It's gonna be low scoring. We are going to score, but like I said all episode, our defense is gonna prevail. That's the key to the match for me, and I think we shut down Brian White. They don't score anything. Messi scores because who else? I still don't think Suarez finds the back of the net. But yeah, 1-0. I think we take home the win. We get that away goal. We don't let them score anything. And we come back to Miami and hopefully have an easier match.
I'm gonna go with a 2-1 victory for Inter Miami as well. I think Messi will find a way. I think we see again that hunger come back that we were missing a little bit in this last match. I think we see it come back. We're a few games away from getting to a final in probably one of the more important competitions that we're participating in this season. So I think Messi gets on the score sheet, and I'm hoping and praying and gonna say I'm somewhat confident that Suarez finally gets back in goal scoring form, and the two of them sort of lead the way and lead the charge. And Vancouver will probably make it really hold on to your butts time late. And speaking of holding on to your butt, Chris, and and yeah, they'll make it tight at the end, but we'll escape with a 2-1 victory and get two very, very important away goals as we head to the reverse fixture next week. So that's my prediction.
I have two questions. One, do we see Obando on Thursday?
No.
Anybody else?
I don't think we see Obando. So I think for sure, obviously Suarez gets the start, and then based on what I'm predicting is that we take a lead. I think if we see subs later, it'll be similar to what we saw against Columbus, where it's somewhat defensive minded, maybe some sort of like hybrid type sub that it's not like a 1-for-1, but it might be like a Segovia or a Benja that sort of just help alleviate pressure, but aren't necessarily striker replacements.
Yeah, I just to see 90 minutes of Suarez again kills me.
We might see 70.
We might not. Obando just might not be the guy coming in to replace him.
Right.
Yeah, it could be.
We're saving Obando for Dallas.
90 minutes for Obando, Dallas.
Yeah.
But yeah. Second question I had, you actually mentioned it, and it's funny because I was going to ask this question regardless if you mentioned it. Is CONCACAF the most important tournament for us this season?
No.
That is with Leagues Cup. That is with obviously the playoffs. And then Club World Cup.
Club World Cup. If we're able to do something in the Club World Cup, it supersedes everything.
It carries so much prestige.
Just from a global scale, yeah. I think after Club World Cup, I would probably rank CONCACAF Champions Cup second, followed by MLS Cup, followed by Leagues Cup, Supporter Shield above Leagues Cup. I think Leagues Cup is probably the lowest.
It's too random.
And we won it.
Yeah.
We've climbed that mountaintop already.
Cool.
So good to keep in mind, guys. Go ahead. There's a player also that they've had success against Messi, Andres Cubas. I don't know if you guys know this. He was a Paraguayan. He actually just played Messi in November in the World Cup qualifying match. Messi struggled in that game. Something to keep in mind. He's their center mid. He's been doing pretty well for them. He's their only DP on that team.
Messi's gonna score.
He just heard that. He heard that, and he's gonna be like, "Okay."
I hope so.
Watch this, Bobo.
He's gonna skate. I struggled. Okay, here we go.
He struggled.
Messi hack trick incoming.
Yep.
They say that he said it afterward. He's like, "I own Messi." That's what he said after that last game. That's what I heard.
You hear that, Messi?
Yeah.
I know he listens to the show.
Yeah, so. known Heron Head aficionado.
Right.
He likes all of our things. He does it.
So as far as this match goes, it kicks off at 10:30 p.m. We haven't really talked about this, but are we gonna do a watch along?
I don't know. We should do a poll and see what the people want.
Okay. Well, let us know in the
and then
comments.
we'll just do whatever we want.
Let us know in the comments if you'd like us to do a watch along. If we don't do a watch along, that game ends late, man. I don't know if there will be a match reaction that evening or if we'll do one then Friday. But let us know in the comments if you guys would like to see a watch along or join us for a watch along. We had a pretty good time despite the end result last time. It was late, but we all fought through together.
And we ended up doing like a 15-minute little
we did do a little recap.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let us know if you guys like to do a watch along with us for the Vancouver match. But any closing remarks here, guys?
Nope.
All right. Well,
you seem very concentrated. over there.
Thursday night.
I'm trying to
is
read some last tidbits, but it's fine.
The show's over.
Not the time. So Thursday night's the match against Vancouver, semifinals, first leg. Reminder that this is the first of 2 legs. So regardless of the result, we will have the reverse fixture next week. So yeah, tune in to the Heron Heads podcast, your first stop for all things Inter Miami, to find out what happens. Did I say that wrong? Why are you looking at me like that?
No. I'm
Oh,
waiting.
Dave
for
made a
finishers.
face.
Chris made a weird jerking thing. I don't know what's
You guys are
happening.
all making weird jerking things.
Powered by
So-
786. Did you say
Indeed.
that?
Well, no, because you guys threw me off. Powered by 786 Sports. And thanks for hanging out. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe buttons if you guys enjoyed the show. Follow us at the Heron Heads on all social media channels. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.